Mr. Maycock, how might the services of city programs be expanded to provide for after-school activities for children?
That's a good point. When I was growing up on military bases, we always had a thing called the youth center. And I know the city does have some, youth programs. I feel that they can be expanded. Our youth center, we call it the preteen center, the teen center, depending on whichever age group was there. And this is something that was very affordable. They provided places where kids could go, watch movies, go on sort of like field trips. It had card games, played Uno, lots of different things that kids can get involved with. And just be around each other, learn how to socialize, and get out of their parents' hair and just have something to do, and so they wouldn't run around with the wrong crowd. I would like to see something like that come into San Marcos. Here in San Marcos, I've been told by lots of our residents there's really not a whole lot of activities for their children to be involved in, especially activities that either are free or that don't cost a significant amount. So that's something that I think that we can work on, build upon, and even grow into San Marcos. Maybe even that same idea of what I did when I was a kid living on many military installations, was having some sort of a youth center.
Mr. Thomason?
Excuse me, allergies blew in. I think that there's been several things going on that it would be helpful if we could expound upon that most people aren't even aware of. That the police and fire have both been active in children's programs, and I think we can do some things to help them to promote those and to get out. They have reading programs, and there was a bunch of them that I knew off the top of my head a month ago when I looked them up, and I just can't remember what all of them were. I wasn't expecting that as a question. But we can certainly help them and make that more advantageous for them. The public library has several programs, and I know that the public library is looking at expansion and looking to be able to do more, and we can certainly help out in that arena. And the activity center, where we have right here, it would be an opportunity for us to have additional programs for after school. And those are all environments where they're safe, they're protected, they're in easy access places. Obviously, library and activity center they have to be driven to, but that's something that we could look into and making sure they can get to and from, and they're in good environments.
I have a very clear track record of working with at-risk youth. When I was a college student, as a graduate, undergraduate student, I opened my home and trained students how to use computers. That was back when we had the little old Apple IIe's. I also trained them all different forms of not only artistic endeavors, but competitive endeavors. But I was also the one that was the main person who got all those 3 basketball courts built in the 3 different neighborhoods. Now, since then, as an art commissioner, and those who attend the meetings will tell you that I always, when rendering budget policy, always ask the question, how will this affect at-risk youth? What sort of pilot programs can we do to assist these youth? As a filmmaker, I proposed an idea where we pair our at-risk youth with some of our seasoned citizens here and film the narratives of those with wisdom of this community who have spent decades and know San Marcos, not like we do, but know it for what it is and what our history is. And through this oral history of pairing at-risk youth with seasoned citizens, we can archive those narratives and it will give some pride to our students. In addition to filmmaking and sports, as an educator for over 2 decades, I worked in both college, as high school, and charter schools. I've done a lot of literacy outreach with older people who have never had the opportunity to learn how to read. As an educator, this is my passion, to find a way for people to deconstruct whether it's oppression of some sort in terms of socioeconomic status or race. How can we creatively unpack that, make sense of that in a holistic way? And through filmmaking, that is a way that people can get together and learn a little bit about their own culture and share their culture with other people. So I would say that my passion as an educator would make me uniquely qualified, not only to support programs here in our community that are pre-existing and finance those through the city budget, but also to foster new pilot programs that will help all aspects of our community youth here in San Marcos, Texas.
Mr. Maycock, 30 seconds.
I spoke with the Daniel Orlando on the Police Officers Association before, and he's real big into youth baseball, pony league, and getting some of the fields built for those kids to help increase tourism, get our own kids involved, and even help it to where a lot of our kids won't have to pay for it if they can't afford it. Without letting the cat out of the bag, I know there's a pretty good piece of land that very well may be coming up for sale within the next year that would be excellent for this. It's really close by to the softball fields that's on Highway 21. And the owner that owns that piece of land is talking about trying to sell it possibly to the city, offer it for sale to the city. And I think if the city can procure that at a very low cost, then that would be a very good location to build this for our children.
Thank you, Mr. McCall.